Hey, it me. Let's do this last installment, honey, of Women's History Month, child. Black Women's History Month. Let me share this screen right quick. We talking about Ethel, honey. We talking about Ethel Waters. I mean, maximize. Okay, so our good sister Ethel, born October 31st, 1896. And if you hear something in the background, I'm washing clothes. Um, she had died, child, on September 1st, 1977. So that's a pretty long stretch of life, but not that long because she was just 80. She was an American singer and actress. Honey, Waters frequently performed jazz, swing, and pop music on the Broadway stage. Broadway, okay. If you see my hair is red, it's because my hair is red. Um, she began her career in the 1920s singing blues. Waters' notable records include Dinah, which I believe is Dinah Won't You Blow, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's find out. Popular song established and introduced by Ethel Waters. Honey, where's the lyrics? Is it Dinah Won't You Blow? Oh, Dinah Won't You Blow? Dinah Won't You Blow Your Heart? We'll never know. Now, Dinah, is there anyone finer in the state of Carolina? Y'all better rap up in here. Anyway, stormy weather. My God, today. Taking a chance on love, heat wave, supper time. Am I blue? We'll never know. Cabin in the sky, honey, like cranes, but not cranes. In the sky. I'm coming, Virginia. I'll be on. And her version of His Eye. You ever notice when you go to a funeral, somebody always busts out with, why should I feel? But they hold that why. Why should I feel discouraged? And why? They hold that why, honey. To the shadow. She was the first African American to star in her own television show and the first African American woman to be nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award. Now, a lot of girls think the first African American to have her own television show was our legendary mother, Julia, honey, Diane Carroll. But it wasn't. It was Ethel, honey, Mother Waters. Here she is with her sickening headpiece dress moment. A photograph of Waters from her appearance in Cabin in the Sky. There it is. Good black art. And the devil, for some reason, he got his zoot suit, he got his chain, child. She got on a little bit of a mini skirt moment with her belly out. She better wear it. Anyway, let's go to early life. Waters was born in Chester, Pennsylvania on the date I already told y'all. Some of sources of her birth state her birth year as 1990, and that is a big discrepancy. What this say up here? This say 1896. So what's the truth? As a result of a lower body assault, honey, on her teenage African American mother, Louise Anderson, by John Watt. Now, why she named the baby after the lower body assaultists? Because her name would have been Ethel Anderson, a pianist and family acquaintance from a middle-class African-American background. Oh, my broccoli is ready. African-American background. Waters' family was very fair-skinned, her mother in particular. Now, if you go back up here and see, you'll see she was on the fair side of things. She was probably darker than myself, but she was on the fair side of things. Where we go? Many sources, including Ethel herself, have reported for years that her mother was 12 or 13 years old at the time of the lower body assault, 13 when Ethel was born. Stephen Bourne opens up his 2007 biography, Ethel Waters, Stormy Weather. Oh, I missed that. Stormy weather. Because that weather, that was flat, child. With the statement that genealogical research has shown that she may have been in her late teens. Waters played no role in raising Ethel, obviously, child. Like, Soon after she was born, her mother married Norman Howard, a railroad worker. Ethel used the surname Howard as a child, as she should have, then reverted to her father's name, which I do not understand. She was raised in poverty by Sally Anderson, her grandmother, who worked as a housemaid and with two of her aunts and uncle. Waters never lived in the same place for more than 15 months. Of her difficult childhood, she said, "I was never a child. I never was cuddled or liked or understood by my family, and that is very sad." Waters grew tall, standing 5 feet 9 inches in her teens, which is taller than me, child. According to jazz historian and archivist Rosetta Reitz, who is this white lady right here. Waters' birth in the North and her peripatetic, I don't know this word. Let's go to Google. Peripatetic, traveling from place to place. Now, why they couldn't just say her nomad? See, they're nomadic. Why they couldn't say nomadic? Trying to throw off your girl. Anyway, her peripatetic life exposed her to many cultures. Waters married at the age of 13, but her husband was abusive, and she soon left the marriage and became a maid in a Philadelphia hotel, working for $4.75 per week, which is, girl, crazy to me. On her 17th birthday, she attended a costume party at a nightclub on Juniper Street. She was persuaded to sing 2 songs and impressed the audience so much that she was offered professional work at the Lincoln Theatre in Baltimore. She recalled that she earned the rich sum of $10 per week, child, but her managers cheated her out of the tips her admirers threw on stage, which is crazy to me because I'd have been stuffing them in my bra. Career, singing. After her start in Baltimore, Walters toured on the Black vaudeville circuit, child. And if you don't know what the vaudeville is, it's a theatrical genre of variety entertainment born in France at the end of the 19th century. You can look it up yourself. In her words, from 9 until unconscious. Despite her early success, she fell on hard times and joined a carnival, traveling in freight cars, headed for where? Chicago. It all comes back to Chicago. She enjoyed her time with the carnival and recalled the roustabouts and the concessionaires were the kind of people I'd grown up with. Rough, tough, and full of larceny toward strangers, which I thought that meant stealing. So now y'all throwing me off for another loop, child. A theft. Full of theft toward strangers. But sentimental and loyal to their friends and co-workers. But she did not last long with them and soon headed south to Atlanta, where it also all comes back to, where she worked in the same club as Bessie Smith, honey. There she is. I think we'll be talking about Bessie at some point this year. Smith demanded that Water not compete in singing blues opposite her. Very much like when Mary J. Blige turned over that table in that movie about Billie Holiday. Waters conceded and sang ballads, which is a form of verse, often a narrative set to music. Honey, it's slow. It derived from the medieval French chanson balladée, or ballad, balladée, balladée, and popular songs. Around 1919, Waters moved to Harlem and became a performer in the Harlem Renaissance, honey. And if you don't know what the Harlem Renaissance is, are you even Black? Because the Harlem Renaissance was an intellectual and cultural revival of African-American music, dance, art, fashion, literature, theater, politics, and scholarship centered in Harlem, Manhattan, New York City, spanning the 1920s and 30s, honey. And that's where we got Langston Hughes of the 1920s. Her first Harlem job was at Edmund Cellar, a club with a Black patronage that specialized in popular ballads. She acted in a black, I don't know, sister, Ethel. She acted in a blackface comedy. Now, if you don't know what blackface is, it's a form of theater. I don't even know if we should call it theatrical, but makeup predominantly by performers of non-African descent to portray a caricature, honey, of dark-skinned person of African descent. Hello, 1919. Jazz historian lady we had already done talked about, Rosetta, pointed out that at that time Waters returned to Harlem in 1921. Women's blues singers were among the most powerful entertainers in the country when she had done returned. In 1921, Waters became the 5th Black woman to make a record for Tiny Cardinal Records, which was a jazz record label founded in 1920 in New York that published the first recordings by Ethel Waters herself. She later joined Black Swan, which was an American jazz and blues record label founded in 1921 in Harlem, New York. It was first widely distributed label to be owned, operated, and marketed to African Americans. Where Fletcher Henderson, who is this man who may or may not be Black, we are not sure, but he played the jazz, honey, so I guess he was, alongside our grandmother, Duke Ellington, was her accompanist. Waters later commented that Henderson tended to perform in a more classical style than she preferred, often lacking the damn it to hell bass. Period. She recorded for Black Swan from 21 through 23. Her contract with Harry Pace made her the highest paid Black recording artist at the time. Okay. In early 1924, Paramount, which we all know, child, it was, oh wait, no, we don't know. It's not the same Paramount anyway. It was American record label known for its recordings of jazz and blues in the 20s and 30s, including artists such as Ma Rainey, honey, who had her black bottom in the blues, Tommy Johnson, and Blind Lemon Jefferson. I ain't never seen a lemon they can see, so period. It had done bought Black Swan, and she stayed with Paramount through the year. I guess the 1 year. She first recorded for Columbia. We know Columbia Records now. We do know Columbia. In 1925, achieving a hit with Dinah, which apparently is not Dinah, Won't You Blow. She started working with Pearl Wright, and they toured the South. In 1924, Waters played at the Plantation Club on Broadway, which sounds racist to me. She also toured with the Black Swan Dance Masters. Honey, they were the masters of dance before Alvin Ailey. With Earl Dancer, she joined what was called the White Time, which again sounds a little racist to me. Keith Vaudeville Circuit. This was a white man, so a vaudeville circuit performing for white audiences and combined with screenings of silent movies. Not for me, honey. They received rave reviews in Chicago because it all comes back there, and earned the unheard of salary of $1,250, honey, in 1928. Nobody's ever heard of it. In September 1926, Waters recorded I'm Coming, Virginia, composed by Donald Haywood himself with lyrics by Marion Cook, which is what it said, Will Marion Cook, excuse me, who is this man who may or may not be Black, we're not sure. But probably not, because he was a student of Antonin Dvorak, honey. So he might be Black. I don't know, he looked a little Black. I don't know. She is often wrongly attributed as the author. The following year, Waters sang it in a production of Africana at Broadway's Daily 63rd Street Theatre. In 1929, Waters and Wright arranged the unreleased Harry Axt's song, Am I Blue? And the answer is I don't know, which was used in the movie On with the Show with this white lady and under her clothes, and became a hit and her signature song. All right, let's get to film, theater, and television. In 1933, Waters appeared in a satirical all-Black film, Rufus Jones for President, which sounds, again, like it was probably a racist movie, which featured the child performer Sammy Davis Jr., the Sammy Davis Jr. himself as Rufus Jones, who apparently was going to run for president. She went on to star at the Cotton Club. We all know the Cotton Club, honey. It's the club that Lucky Luciano had done Shot Up Child, and Bumpy Johnson was there too, where according to her autobiography, she sang Stormy Weather from the depths of the private hell in which I was being crushed and suffocated. In 1933, she had a feature role in the successful Irving Berlin, this him right here, Broadway musical review as Thousand's Chair, with evil-looking white people looking at the paper, and a Black lady. With Clifton Webb, Marilyn, Clifton. Marilyn Miller, who got that swoop on lock, honey. That swoop, you'll never take that swoop away from her. God rest her. I'm sure she's dead. And Helen Broderick, who looked like she got caught eating something in the middle of this picture. She became the first Black woman to integrate Broadway's theater district more than a decade after actor Charles Gilpin. This Black man right here, after his critically acclaimed performances in the plays of Eugene O'Neill, this white man right here, who was an American playwright and Nobel literature, Nobel laureate in literature, beginning with The Emperor Jones. Black man. I think it's this man. Wait, not this man. This man. Is this man this man? I think this man is this man. Don't that look like this man this man? I don't know yet. Waters held 3 jobs in as a Thousand Cheer, as a singer for Jack Denny and his orchestra on national radio program and in nightclubs. She became the highest paid performer on Broadway. Despite this status, she had difficulty finding work. I wonder why, because she's a Negro. She moved to Los Angeles to appear in the 1942 film Cairo with these white people on the cover. During the same year, she reprised her starring stage role as Petunia in the all-Black musical film Cabin in the Sky, with which we have already talked about, with Ethel Waters, honey, Eddie Rochester, and the Lena Horne. I wanted to be Lena Horne. A little Dorian Corey for your day. Directed by Vincent Tate Minnelli, Liza's daddy, and starring the Lena Horne. Look at her. A vision of whiteness, but was still Black for some reason. Not for some reason, for the reason of her parents. Anyway, as the ingenue child, the ingenue is a stock character in literature, film, and a role type in the theater. Now, Ingenue Ellis is an actress who we love dearly, who needs to get that Oscar. She's gonna get that Oscar, period. She's gonna get the Oscar. She's gonna get an Oscar. Conflicts arose when Minnelli swapped songs from the original script between Waters and Horne. Waters wanted to perform Honey in the Honeycomb as a ballad, but Horne wanted to dance to it. Horne broke her ankle and the songs were reversed. She got the ballad and Waters the dance. Waters sang at the Academy Award nominated Happiness is Just a Thing Called Joe, and I don't know Joe, so I'm not happy. In 1939, Waters became the first African-American to star in her own television show before the debut of Nat King Cole's in 1956. And I don't know why they keep telling y'all that it was Julia, because it was not Diane Carroll. The Ethel Waters Show, a variety special, appeared on NBC on June 14, 1939. It included a dramatic performance of the Broadway's play Mamba's Daughter's Child, which was a book authored by Du Bois Haywood. Based on the Gullah community, we're Gullah over here on my mama's side, community of South Carolina, and produced with her in mind. The play was based on a novel like I just had done told you by him, this white man. Waters was nominated for an Cadillac Award, an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for the film Pinky and Not the Brain in 1949, under the direction of Elia Kazan, this white man. After the first director, John Ford, quit, this John right here, he looked like James Earl Ray. Anyway, quit over disagreements with Waters. According to the producer, Dale F. Zanuck, this man who looked like the Colonel, Ford hated that old woman, woman, Waters. Ford Kazan stated, didn't know how to reach Ethel Waters. Kazan later referred to Waters as Waters' truly odd combination of old-time religiosity and free-flowing hatred. I don't know about this picture, Ethel. I don't know, sister. In 1950s, she had won the New York Drama Critics Circle Award for her performance opposite Julie Harris, this white lady right here, in the play The Member of the Wedding. Waters and Harris repeated their roles in the 1952 film version, where Waters is right here in the background, hugging on these white people. Yeah, in 1950, Waters was the first African American actress to star in a television series, Beulah. Is an American situation comedy series that ran on CBS radio from 1945 to 1954, honey, almost 10 years. And on ABC television from 1950 to 1953, the show was notable for being the first sitcom to star an African-American actress, for being ABC's TV first hit situation comedy and the first hit sitcom without a laugh track, which aired on ABC television from 1950 to 52, but even though this said 50 to 53, so what's the truth? It was the first nationally broadcast weekly television series starring an African American in the leading role. She starred as Beulah for the first year of the TV series before quitting in 51, complaining that the portrayal of Blacks was degrading. She was but you did blackface, so sister, what's the truth? She was replaced by Louise Beavers. This her right here. That's Louise, not her. In the second and third season. She guest starred in 1957 and 1959 on NBC's The Ford Show starring Tennessee Ernie Ford, who I assume is this man, but how would I know? In the 1957 segment, she sang Cabin in the Sky. Personal life. Her autobiography, His Eyes on the Sparrow, Why Should I Feel Discouraged? In 1951, written with Charles Samuels, who apparently is a stack of books, was adapted for the stage by Larry Parr and premiered October 7, 2005. In 1953, she appeared in a Broadway show, At Home with Ethel Waters, that opened on September 22nd, 1953 and closed October 10th after 23 performances, which that's a lot of performances in such a short time. But Broadway, honey, they do 4 shows a day. Waters married 3 times and had no children. When she was 13, I had done told you she had married. That man's name was Merritt Buddy Pernsley in 1909. They divorced in 1913. During the 1920s, Waters was involved in a romantic relationship with dancer Ethel Williams. Not lesbianism just popped up in the story. The two were dubbed the Two Ethels and lived together in Harlem. Okay. She married Clyde Edwards Matthews in 1929 and they divorced in 33. She married Edward Mallory in 1938 and they divorced in 45. Waters was the great aunt of the singer-songwriter Crystal Waters. Girl, this is news to me. Da 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 da. But she's homeless. She is homeless. But anyway, in 1938, Waters met artist Luigi Lucioni through their mutual friend Carl Van Vechten, who is this white man. Lucioni asked Waters if he could paint her portrait, and a sitting was arranged at his studio at 64 Washington Square South. Waters bought the finished portrait from Lucioni in 1939 for $500 because she was rich. She was at the height of her career and the first African-American to have a starring role on Broadway, which is what I already told you. In her portrait, she wore a tailored red dress with a mink coat draped over the back of her chair. Luciana positioned Waters with her arms tightly wrapped around her waist, which I guess, child, a gesture that conveyed vulnerability, as if she were trying to protect herself. The painting was considered lost because it had not been seen in public since 42, child. Huntsville, Alabama, Museum of Art Executive Director Christopher J. Madcore and historian Stuart Embry traced it to a private residence. The owner considered Waters to be an adopted grandmother, but she allowed the Huntsville Museum of Art to display a portrait of Ethel Waters in the 2016 exhibition, American Romantic, the art of Luigi Lucioni, where it was viewed by the public for the first time in more than how many years? 70. The museum acquired a portrait of Ethel Waters in 2017, and it was shown in an exhibition in February 2018. This is Ethel's in 57. Now we're going to find portrait of Ethel and see if we can pull it up. Portrait of Ethel. Here's our sister. Now let's look at the vulnerability. I would like to see the vulnerability. Yeah, vulnerable. Very vulnerable, honey. I feel vulnerability. Oh, it's vulnerable. Oh, it's so vulnerable. Vulnerable. Honey, I feel it. Look at it in sepia tones. Oh, it's vulnerable, very vulnerable. By 1955, Waters was deeply in debt for back taxes. I don't understand how y'all rich girls get in debt for back taxes, but the poor people can pay taxes every year. The IRS seized royalties of her work. She lost tens of thousands in jewelry and cash in a robbery, honey. And it was probably by them circus people who did larceny on the people that they didn't know, strangers. Her health suffered, and she worked sporadically. Yet, she had faced lean times before. During a turning point came in 1957 when she attended the Billy Graham Crusade. That's Billy right there with the fist in Madison Square Garden. She entered the garden that night, a disillusioned, lonely 61-year-old woman. What a time to be alive. She had become successful at giving out happiness, but her personal life lacked peace. Because she broke up with that other Ethel, whatever. She was in debt, had physical problems, way too much to perform comfortably, and was worried about her career. Years later, she gave this testimony of that night. In 1957, I, Ethel Waters, a 380-pound decrepit old lady, is this my grandmother? Honey, on my father's side, rededicated my life to Jesus Christ, and boy, because he lives, just look at me now. Bobo. I tell you, because he lives, and because my precious child Billy, who is Billy? She ain't no kids. Gave me the opportunity to stand there. I can thank God for the chance to tell you, not her precious child being Billy Graham. Ethel thought she was white sometimes. I can thank God for the chance to tell you his eye is on all of us sparrows. Why should I feel discouraged, Bobo? And why should the shadow come? Why should my heart be lonely? Oh, Bobo. In later years, Waters often, I almost, wait a minute, because I almost went in for real. In her later years, Waters often toured with the preacher, Billy Graham, on his crusades. Waters died on September 1st, 1977 at 80 from we're not going to hover over uterine cancer because they always show you a horrible picture. One of the most graphic pictures they could ever show you is always the title picture for the article. Kidney failure. I've seen the kidney failure one. It don't bless you. Or maybe that was liver failure. Either way, you don't want to see it. And other ailments in Chatsworth, California. She is buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale. Ethel was written and performed by Terry Burrell, maybe related to Kim, we don't know, as a one-woman tribute to Waters. But you know what? Anybody related to Kim probably didn't do Ethel because, you know, Ethel turned out to be a member of the Let God Be True quickly. It ran as a limited engagement in February and March 2012, which Ethel do not care because she is dead. Here are her awards and honors. You may read them on your own time. Here's her her Grammy Hall of Fame awards. And here are her hit records in which you can listen to and review on your own time. Miss Otis Regrets. Was that her? Oh, yeah, everything was written by Cole Porter. Cole Porter just, honey, he understood the Black plight. Did he write Stormy Weather? Who wrote Stormy Weather? Harold Arlen and Ted Kohler. I don't know them. Anyway, here are her featured filmography, honey. This is the features. These are the movies that my sister was in. And these are the short subjects that my sister was in. And this is the television that my sister was in. And these are the stage appearances, honey, that you can read on your own time, but just know my sister was in them. And that is Ethel Waters, honey. I'm so glad you could join us here for Black Women's History Month, honey. It's over, but it's never over. thank you for joining me, and let me know how you felt about Ethel. Were you surprised like I was to find out about the secret lesbianism that was not secret because they called them the two Ethels so they knew what was going on? Or what? Anyway, bye.